All right. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the four entry models that I use. Okay. And the four entry models that I use are going to be candle close entry, confirmation entry, risk entry, and a rejection entry. And I got examples right here. So let's break it down. All right. So as you can tell, what I look for first is always going to be market structure. After that is going to be S&D zone. And then the last one is going to be an entry model. Okay. And now the thing is that there are going to be different entry models used. It's not going to be the same one. It's going to be different entry models used. And like I said, I went over the four, and here are the four. Okay. Now, remember, I'm entering when price taps into a supply or a demand zone. So let's just say that we tap into a demand zone or a supply zone, and it's time for us to take a trade. This is exactly what I would use, these entry models. Okay. So right here, you can see this right here is going to be a risk entry. And this is an entry model that I use when I just want to enter right off the rip, right when it taps into the zone. So it would be something like this. This would be a risk entry. Now, the best times to use a risk entry, in my opinion, is right when the market's about to open and when the zone that you're entering off of is very, very small, or you're not risking that much. Now, the reason why it's good to enter risk entries when the market is like right at open is because the markets aren't going to give you time. It's going to tap in and then reject, and it's going to leave without you. There's no time to be waiting, and there's no time for other entry models. You have to enter, or if not, then get in later. So that's literally what it is. Okay, so that's risk entry. Now, the next one is going to be a rejection entry. Now, what is a rejection entry? A rejection entry is basically entering off of how the candlestick is reacting or rejecting off of that zone. So let's say we tap into the zone right here, like we did right here. And this one obviously didn't really give me that good of a, that good of a rejection, or it didn't close that good. So what I would do is I would wait for the next one, and then if the next one is giving me a good rejection, like as you can see right here, let's say the markets are open and it's giving me a bullish signs, it's giving me very bullish signals that it wants to come up, and this comes more from experience, learning how the markets react off of demand zones that are valid. So this comes more with experience, but you can still use this even as a beginner. Right here, you can see, boom. Let's just say we reacted and it was giving me a very bullish reaction. Then that's when I would enter this trade right here. So this would be something like a rejection entry where I'm entering before the candlestick even closes. So I'm entering based off of the reaction off of the zone. So basically, you could call it a reaction entry, but I like to call it rejection entry. And then right here, we also have liquidity. So it would tap into that liquidity, and that would be my price target. And then, of course, the next one is going to be a candle close entry. So a candlestick close entry, to be exact. And this one would be it. So it would be this one right here. Now, the candle close entry is when you wait for the candlestick to close and then you enter right when it closes. And the best thing about this is that it's kind of like it's a little more safer. If I would say it's a little safer, the candle close entry, because you're kind of waiting. The only bad thing about candle close entry is that it could close very, very far away from where you were expecting, and now you're risking a lot more. So, for example, like, let's say this candlestick closes right here and then you enter right over here. Now you're risking a lot more, right? Or if it closes right here, now you have to risk a lot more. So that's why I like rejection entries, but candle close entries are sometimes a lot safer because you're waiting for that candlestick to close. So once it closes, like right here, you're not going to enter right off the rip. You're waiting for it to close. And then once it closes, then you see, okay, do I like it? Do I not like how it closed? If you like how it closed, then you enter, and then boom. So this right here would be an example of that. So yeah. And then the last one, which is the safest option, if I'm being real, is a confirmation entry. But the thing about this is that you could only enter off of confirmation entries, and they could not work, or they could never appear, only like every blue moon. So you're literally waiting for like five 5 trading days or 6 trading days, 7 trading days, and you don't get a confirmation entry. But then when you do get it, you finally get it and then it doesn't hit. So you're just like, that's why I like to have different entry models. But this one is the safest option if I'm being real. But the thing is that you have to be patient, because if like a confirmation entry doesn't end up playing out, or if the candles like if this trade ended up just shooting up and skyrocketing up to the upside, and you were waiting for a confirmation entry, that could lead to a lot of FOMO. So just be patient and just be okay with trading this entry model. But I wouldn't just depend only on this one. I would have another entry model. If you want to trade this one, that's good. But if you want to, have another one and just in the back burner just in case, then do it. But this is going to be a confirmation entry. So confirmation entry is basically this. So as you can see right here, this candlestick caused a new demand zone. So this candlestick right here caused what was I going to say? This candlestick caused this impulse move, causing a break of causing a, what's it called, a demand zone, right? So there's buyers here, so we know that there's a demand zone right here. So since there's a demand zone right here, then I know once it taps back into here, then it's going to, possibly reject off of this new created demand zone. And that's exactly what it did once we tapped into here. So it's basically entering off of a demand zone just on a lower time frame. So instead of entering off of this huge zone like we did right here, we're entering in, it's more precise. It's a more precise entry. So candlestick just shoots up and then it comes right back down, and then that's when we get the entry, because it's a little bit more precise. We're risking less, and also it's still a very good trade. And then right here, this obviously would have played out. So that is basically like just a very quick overview of my 4 entry models and the 4 entry models that I use. It's very simple. Like I said, it's very, very simple. Now, you want to trade these entry models when in like the last step. So you don't want to just enter off of these entry models just out the ass. Like you want to also look for market structure. Then you also want to look for supply and demand zones. And then once those all align, then you want to use these entry models. So this is like the last piece of the puzzle. So if market structure is bullish and there's a demand zone, since market structure is bullish, we like to enter off of demand zones, then the entry model would be looking for something like this. But if the market structure is bearish and there's a supply zone, then entry model will look something like this, entering off of puts. Since I'm trading options, it will be puts. So that's exactly how it would go. And other than that, that is basically it. If you enjoyed the video, like I said, leave a comment, like, and also subscribe. But leave a comment, let me know what y'all guys think about these entry models. Will you use them? If you do, um, uh, let me know. Let me know, and cut me a percentage of your trade that hits. But other than that, that is it. And